Hi guys, and welcome to the Stephen King Sematary Club. Peter was tried and convicted very quickly, and he is mostly convicted on the basis of the fact that he cried when he was confronted with the charges. And to everyone that seemed like he was guilty because he just broke down and cried, which, I don't know, if your father has been murdered and you've been blamed for it, I think you might cry about that, especially if you're a child. And Thomas ascends the throne. Peter gets sent to the top of the Needle, which is the really tall prison tower, because there is a law saying that royalty is not allowed to be killed. So he has to spend life in this tower, which has 2 rooms in it. He's beaten by the guards. Everyone hates him. Eventually he manages to strike a bargain where he gets Mother's dollhouse and he gets royal napkins, like royal cloth napkins, with every meal. And he is using the napkins to take threads out of, and he is using the dollhouse because it has a working loom in it, and he is weaving a long rope with which to escape. But he can only take so many threads from the napkins because he thinks that they're being reused, and he doesn't want it to be obvious that some are missing. So he goes through this whole process of using very minimal amounts of a napkin, thinking it's going to be reused and he'll see it again, but in essence there is such a supply of napkins that he gets new ones every single time. So really he could have destroyed the hell out of them, and he could have tried to escape much sooner. So it takes years and years of him being disciplined, weaving his rope. When Peter is in the tower, he finds an old locket and a letter. It was written by a guy named Valera, who was accused of killing his wife by poison, and he says that Flag is the one who did it. So Peter reads this and he all of a sudden realizes how old Flag must be, because the guy who wrote this, in the history books, it was over 400 some years ago that the events took place. And so Peter not only knows that Flag is super old, but he knows that he has done murder by poison before and has pinned it on someone else, and it's worked. Now Dennis, who had been attending to Peter before Peter got sent away, is now tending to Thomas. He is like Thomas's personal butler. And one night Thomas is sleepwalking and he feels super guilty about what happened to his father. He ends up sleepwalking to the eyes of the dragon and looking into the room. Dennis is really freaked out by the actions, and it's very Lady Macbeth. So he realizes that Thomas has all this guilt because Thomas saw Flag kill Roland, and it wasn't Peter. So now he was already certain that Peter didn't do it, but now he is completely convinced. So he goes to get help. There's a whole team of people who end up assisting, trying to break Peter out, trying to save him. So we have Dennis, we have Ben, who is Peter's best friend, and a girl named Naomi, which is cute because that's Stephen King's daughter's name, so she got put into the story. And the 3 of them end up breaking into the castle. They find the room of napkins. It's just like storage space for napkins. And they end up putting all the napkins into a cart, putting it underneath Peter's tower. And there's a scene where Flag has all of a sudden put it all together, and he starts running up the stairs, which is like 300 some stairs or whatever, up to the tower. And it's very Jack Nicholson out of The Shining. He's got this axe and he's like shouting things and running up the steps trying to get to Peter to kill him. And Peter jumps out the window with his rope, which does break, and he falls into the cart of napkins. So the napkins do still save him. It's very much like the last rung on the ladder. And he is fine. The 4 of them run as fast as they can into the castle, into the study area, Roland's area where the dragon and all the heads reside. And Thomas is sitting there and they don't know he's there. He's in the dark and he's got the bow and arrow. Flag comes in, there's a confrontation, and Thomas is the one who shoots Flag and puts one of his eyes out. Flag disappears. Thomas and Dennis end up chasing after him, trying to find him, and Peter becomes king. Ben and Naomi get married, and that's pretty much it. This is pretty much a drawn out fairy tale. I think it could have been much better instead of a 372-page novel if it had been cut in half. I think the characters are interesting, but I'm not invested in them to the point where I need to read 300 pages, almost 400 pages of their antics.